Welcome back to the Boondocks Homestead, y'all. We're glad you're back, and today we're going to bring you with us while we make some homemade canned dill pickles. So don't go nowhere.
Spicy.
Spicy dill pickles. All right, you guys, I am going to go ahead and start some of this. Tim's going to get in on the action here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I got this. I used the recipe out of my ball book, and just like I did the relish, pickle relish, and a lot of my recipes come out of my ball book. And then sometimes I'll just tweak them for me. But so I've got my jars in my canner, my water bath canner, and I am sterilizing those, okay? And I'm going to let them boil about 10 minutes. And then I'll take them out and I'm going to put my pickles in. I need 8 pounds of pickles. So I've had these on ice for about, I don't know, what do you think, 3 hours?
Maybe a little longer.
Maybe a little longer. They say you only have to keep it on ice. And then I didn't get this out of the ball book. This is just how I've been practicing for the last several years how to keep them crispy and how to have that crunch a year later in the jar, okay? Sometimes it works out for me, sometimes it don't. The last couple of years, I used lime. I put lime in them in a cold water bath overnight for like 24 hours. I soaked them in lime water. This time I did it in salt, and I used my Redmond real salt, and I've had them soaking for about 3 to 4 hours. So we're going to see if this works. I don't know. I'm assuming that it's going to. I've already made one batch of them, and I don't know why it wouldn't. So before I put them in my cold water bath, I cut the blossom end off. You always want to do that because there's an enzyme in there that causes your pickles to go soft. So you make sure you cut that blossom end off. And you can leave the top part if you want, where the stem is. You can leave that. That's not a big deal. And you just want to make sure they're clean and everything. And then I'm going to probably, some of my jars are going to be whole pickles, and then some of my jars are going to be, I'm going to quarter them and make slices out of them. So, but anyways, I wanted to go ahead and get you started on this. So I've got my brine, because we're going to have a brine, and I've got it going over here. I don't have it going yet, but I've already measured it out. Now, my book calls for a quart of vinegar and a quart of water. I always find that I need more, and then I'm panicking at the last minute because I don't have enough brine. So I'm just going to make a little more, and it's not going to be a big deal. So I'm going to put a quart and a half of water and a quart and a half of vinegar, white distilled vinegar, 5% acidity. Okay, you guys know we make our own apple cider vinegar, but I don't can with it because it's not high enough acidity. So we're going to use this, that kind you get at the store. Okay, so if that's all I had was the kind I made, I'd probably use it, but I'm not going to chance it. I'm not going to go there, so we're just going to use the store one. Then I'm going to take some of this cheesecloth, and I really like this cheesecloth. I got it off Amazon. It's not like you buy at the local store that's got all the holes in it. It really keeps it. Things don't get through it too good. Liquid does, but not your other stuff. So I've got you need some pickling spice, and sometimes I have Ball, sometimes I have Mrs. Wages. I've told you several times doing all this, I buy what's on sale or what I can get my hands on, and that's what I use. So, and this, it calls for, I thought it said tablespoon. Let me look and see here, but we'll put a little bit more because, 3 tablespoons. I'm sorry. So we're going to put about 5 tablespoons because I'm making a little extra. Kind of weird seeing me measure stuff out, but I'm going to measure this. I want it to be good for Tim. All of a sudden, Tim's decided he likes pickles after 40 years.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, you made me lose track. Okay, that was 2. 3. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. It's just pickle spice. 4, and 5. And now what I'm going to do is, got a little much in that. Let me put you down here. Let me put you down here where you can see. Okay. So I've got this on my cheesecloth, right? And I'm going to tie up the ends. You know, I'm not. I'm going to do what I did when I made my relish. Hold on a minute. He'll have these eat before. Won't you? Before anybody else can get in them. All right, let me see. I think this is going to work. But you know what? Hold on a minute. Back up. Man, I really didn't want this video to be long, but I just kind of have a feeling it's going to be. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to... Woo! Huh? What?
You got your jars going?
Got the jars going. Yes, sir. I'm going to cut this in half so I don't waste all this. Because I'm telling you, I use it over. I'll wash it out if it's not something really yucky that I used. Then I just wash it out and I use it over. Why not? It is hot in here, kind of. It's going to get hotter. Okay, looky there. There's my little spice pack. And you got to do that, okay? You can't, don't just pour your spices in your water, in your vinegar water. Don't do that. You don't want that all in your pickles. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. Ugh. And our cucumbers, y'all, we'll take you out to the garden one day. They're looking real, the plant isn't looking really good, but the cucumbers are doing fine. It's producing. And they're crawling all over our arches. Okay, there's our, it's like one of those, remember those little hacky sacks or whatever they called them? Hacky. Hacky sack. That's kind of what it feels like, what it looks like. What it feels like. All right. I remember that was a big thing at one point. I think Christopher did play with it. I think he was pretty good at it. I don't remember. Okay, so this is what we'll put in there. Not right now, not yet, because we're going to heat that up a little. But first, I tell you what I'm going to do real quick. And I'll probably cut some of this out so this video is not so long, you guys, because I know nobody wants to sit around and watch a long video anymore. Nobody wants to sit around and watch us old folk do anything, do they? Oh, look here. So I went out to the garden, and have you smelled this?
Smells like that.
It does smell like dill, and I've always liked dill, but he just all of a sudden decided he likes dill after 40 years. Anyway, I'm not going to let you live that down. So I went out and got me a bunch of heads off of my dill that I got in the garden, and that's what we're going to put in our jars. It's going to be most wonderful. Okay, I'll leave that right there. I've got to weigh these. I need 8 pounds. Okay, put it up there. It's almost 2 pounds. Can you remember that? The pan is, yeah. So that's what you do. You put your, if you got scales like we do, because it's on 0, and then you put your pan on there, and it's almost 2 pounds. Okay, so I gotta have. So that means it needs to go to 10, because I need 8 pounds. So you guys, we have been at the farmer's market all day. We've been not all day, but for a long time. From 7 to 7 to 12. That's right. Yeah, we had company, but I just feel drained, don't you? I feel drained, and I'm sure I look drained. I feel drained. All right, we're getting close. I don't want to waste these. It better take them all. I don't think it's gonna. Well, that's okay. We got a little extra stuff. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, we're going to use them all. We're just going to use them all. Okay, so now I'm going to put, no, I'm not going to put them back in there. I'm going to go ahead and keep them in here. because we're going to slice them here in a minute. Let me move this. Okay, that done. All right, next step is to cut these and put them in the jar. So when these jars get done, it's going to be a little bit because they're not boiling yet, and I'm going to boil them for 10 minutes and sterilize my jars because I just do that. You know, now they say, well, you don't have to sterilize them, just wash them real good. And then in another year, they'll say, no, you better sterilize them. So I'm just sterilizing them because I'm not fooling around with it. I'm just going to do it because that's just how I've always done it. So that's what I'm going to do. And these are going to be spicy pickles. So I dehydrated these last year. We got these out of our garden. Tim grew ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers. Is that what they are? Cayenne, and that's what we're using, cayenne. And was there another kind? Hungarian hot wax pepper. I don't know if I dehydrated any of those or not. I don't know. But anyway, I dehydrated I've got a lot of peppers. They'll do us for a while. We won't have to plant them for a while. So we'll just, and I forgot some gloves to cut because I'm going to cut them tips off of there. But I'll just get a paper towel and do it because I messed with these one year, and I'm telling you what, I didn't wear gloves when I first started messing with them, and my hands were on fire when I got done. It was not good. So I don't mess with peppers anymore unless I've got a barrier between me and the pepper. So, all right, well, when the jars are done, I'll get back with you, okay? And then we're going to put Tim to work. That's right, we are. All right, the jars are not done yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get this brine going. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. So 3/4 cup of sugar, but I'm going to put a cup because I put a little extra. Okay, and this is going to do a lot of jars. So that sounds like a lot of sugar, but that's what it calls for. That's what I always use. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we put that in the vinegar and the water, okay? The quart and a half. All right. Then you're going to put, now I've had it in salt, but I guess I'll put a little bit of salt. A cup of ball salt for pickling and preserving. So, what did I tell you? A half a cup of ball salt. We're just going to put I think that just sounds like a lot of salt to me. I'm not putting that much. You know, I'm tweaking it for me. Maybe we better. Half a cup of ball salt. We'll do half a cup. But I got some salt on them. But okay. We're just going to do it. Half a cup of ball salt. Or a half a cup. That's what the ball book says. But I'm using Redmond real salt. You can't use table salt. Don't use table salt when you're canning. Don't do that. Okay. Let me put this up. Now, we're going to put that spice pack in there too. Our little hacky sack. We're going to put that in there. I think you should go get a jar of those other pickles and we should taste them. They don't have to be in there a week, but I thought maybe all the flavors and everything. I just want to see if they stayed crispy. I want to see if they're crispy. Then we can put them in the refrigerator and they can sit for a week. But I want to see if they're.
You are wearing me out.
Listen. I want them to be able to see what they look like and what they sound like when you bite into it.
You're just trying to run me back and forth.
Hey, I go back and forth like 50 times a day, I bet. I'm 4 years younger than you. Oh my goodness. He don't even have a clue. I'm over here during the day, and I haven't got everything like brought over here from over there. Not intentionally, but I forget, you know, I forget things and I'm like, oh, I left that at the house, you know, and I'm trying to keep all my canning stuff over here. I'm trying to keep all my, you know, stuff that we do. And I don't know, it's just difficult right now, but I'll get it worked out. But anyways, for the time being, I've got this path It's like I've got the grass wore down all the way from here to the house. And it's a pretty good jot from here to the house. And I've just got this path made through there. It's quite funny looking. But anyway, I want y'all to see these pickles, and I want to see. I'm just curious to see if they're crunchy. And like I said, they're not going to last a year at our house. There's no way. There's no way they would last a year. So, but I've never done this like soak in the cold water, salt water for 3 to 4 hours. I've never done it that way. So I kind of would like to give you, a example because I don't want you to do it and then your pickles not be crunchy. So you grab the small one. That'll work.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's just try them. And when I put my cans on the shelf, I don't leave the ring on them because that you can give you a false seal. So I don't leave that ring. I do when I dehydrate stuff, but not when I'm canning stuff. I used to, and then I learned that you don't do that. So
Really?
I need something to open it with.
Yeah.
Well, my little tool is over at the house, so I guess a spoon. And I guess I'll try these with you. Ooh, I don't know. Ooh. I think I'll just let you try them.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think you should try them because they're your pickles.
What?
I think you should try them because they're. Yeah, that'd be or knife. Yeah, anything.
Well, fork's what we're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. I don't like to mess with my lids, but looks like I'm gonna have to.
That's good for you. There you go. Taste it.
It's got sugar in it, Tim.
Not much.
Well,
The vinegar will outweigh the sugar.
oh, it smells amazing.
Try it.
No, I want you to.
No, what you do?
Come on, I don't
You
want
first.
to. I'm just really don't want to.
Why?
Afraid they're gonna be hot, and I don't have nothing to drink.
Oh. Ain't gonna be hot.
Mmm. Oh, they're crunchy. Mmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
They're not hot though. They ain't been in there long enough. But you know what?
What?
We're gonna put them in the refrigerator.
Let's see what this is. Tastes dilly.
They got a little bit of bite to them.
You drifting.
Who is me?
You.
Oh. Yeah, a little bit. You're not gonna be able to hear him crunch because he don't have a mic on. They're crunchy though, aren't they? Might not be in a year.
You got much dill in them.
Listen, I put a whole head in there. Look.
They need to sit some more.
Uh-huh. Well, them are good. Yeah, this is way easier than the lime, sitting in the lime. I can put some more dried dill in there if you want it, but I think that these, I just love the way these look. That's gonna be dilly. It just needs to sit for a while. Okay. You want to grab you a stool?
I like dill.
I told you it did. Let's grab you a stool. You see how well, you can't see probably. Let me have this. These little places on here, those aren't too bad. But then if you get any that's got any bad spots, you look at them, look them over before you put them, before you start cutting them. Because you don't want to can them if they've got bug holes in them. That won't be good.
Can of bug?
No.
What about that one?
You can quarter that one. These little ones, see these? Little? See that? We want to get that off of there. I don't know what it is, but
What about this one?
I think that'll be okay. Okay, we need this clean towel. We need to really be doing this over here where they can see. Now, I'm just going to tell you, we need to put some vinegar in this water because look at our jars. So when we put our vinegar in when we put our jars back in, we will put some vinegar in there and it will take that off of there. All right, one for you, one for me. You put a couple of these if they're small. So if they're small, I'll just cut them in half. And I'll put one in one and one in the other.
I think that's enough.
Do you want more? Okay, we'll put more. Put that one in there. And we'll put those in there. That be okay?
I have no idea.
I think that'd be.
I'm not a pickle maker.
Be fantastic. All right, now.
Smells like Dill.
Now we're going to mess with these. I forgot I sealed this
Oh,
back.
I smell like Dill now.
Ooh, told you. Oh.
2 and 2.
Yes. I'm telling you, I don't mess with these. I know they're just cayennes, but if your hands were on fire like mine were.
Let's put another
nice.
in each one of them.
No, I don't think we should do that.
No.
I don't think we should do that. Okay. Now you're going to take your jar and you're going to tilt it.
It's probably hot.
It's not bad. And then you're going to put as many of these as you can in there. Okay? Come on.
Oh, who cut them?
Come on, get busy. You did.
The jar's hot.
It'll take... The jar's not hot, Tim.
That jar's hot.
That jar feels just like my jar.
It's hot.
Come on. I think he's whining.
I think you're being rebellious.
I am not being rebellious. I think you're being rebellious. You're making me be rebellious by you being rebellious. Just stop. Tim, now listen. You're going to town there, but you really got to put them in there where they're going to be packed tight.
You told me to get busy.
You're an awful student. But you're an awful teacher, too. You know who taught our kids how to drive? Our boys. Yeah, Mom had to teach them because Dad didn't have the patience, did he?
Maybe.
No, you ask him. No, you were not a good teacher. Now, who taught your wife how to, because I was 15 and he was 18 when we got married. Who taught your wife how to drive?
I don't know.
No, tell him.
You yourself?
That's right. He took me out. He bought me a new car, and it was a 4-speed, wasn't it? 4-speed. It was a Chevy Cavalier. I really liked that car. And I thought this was going to be a lot of pickles, but this is just 2 jars, and they're almost gone. And so...
Well, I don't know where you're going to pack another than that at.
Well, you're going to put these smaller pieces in there. You don't want to go over this right here, the neck.
You did.
Well...
You want to cut that in half?
Technically, you don't want to. No, I think that'll work. You might be able to squeeze one right in there, a small one. Like, you know... Well, anyway, he tried to take me out and tried to teach me. And every time, now I never drove a stick shift before ever in my life, okay? 16 years old, didn't have any driving experience. So I'm grinding the gears and he's like having a heart attack because, you know, I wasn't doing it right. So I maneuvered my way back to our home, and we lived in Kentucky at that time. And I maneuvered my way back there, And I said, okay, you can get out now. He's like, where are you doing? I said, I'm going to go learn how to drive. And I went and I learned how to drive on my own. It was less stressful. I didn't have nobody screaming at me. And it worked out for the better. And now I can drive a stick.
We want dill pickles, not mashed pickles.
That one went down.
Sometime or another, we got to take them out.
They just draw up a little bit when you, yeah, they'll shrink up a little bit and then just like them in there. Look, Tim, I've been doing this for a while. I won't lead you wrong.
I think I probably should just watch.
Yeah, you can watch with this one if you want to. And so anyways, let's finish our story. I want to finish this story because I'm on a roll now with it. So I learned how to drive.
Keyword, story.
No, it's not. It's a true story. What do you want me to say? So then when it came time for the boys to drive, he was the same way with them. And they come to me and they're like, Mom, we can't do it. Dad's yelling at us. Everything we do wrong, he's yelling at us. But you took my paper towel.
I'm sorry.
Which one? I'll use this one. And so I said, okay. And they learned on a stick shift too. I said, okay, I will teach you how. So I went to Tim and I said, I'm going to teach the boys how to drive because you're scaring the dickens out of them. And so I went out and showed them how to drive. And then I'll tell you something else. When I learned how to drive a motorcycle, who taught me how to drive a motorcycle?
Your oldest son.
Correctamundo. Because Tim was yelling at me. Weren't you? Now, listen.
So who showed you how to drive a tractor trailer?
A tractor trailer? You did. But I only pulled it like from here to down, like not even 200 yards probably. I'm not good on measurements, so I don't know if that's right. But all right, now we'll get back to that story in a minute. But if you want this pickle crisp or crunch or extra, this is Mrs. Wages. You can get ball. You can get all kinds of different, I don't know, pickle crisp stuff. Like I said, I get what's on sale, and then I think it says to use for quart jars. A quarter teaspoon for quart jars. And I always do put this in here just because I don't know if it works, but I want to believe that it does. I want to believe that it does. I don't know. Okay. I just wanted to do that before I forgot. And we'll go ahead and pack this jar. So anyway, back to the, yeah. So my oldest son taught me how to drive a motorcycle. Ride. I'm really driving it though, and riding on it, but I'm driving it. So why'd you say that like that? These are pretty long.
You drive a car, you ride a motorcycle.
Well, you know. Anyway, which I don't do that anymore because Tim won't let me.
Because it was scary.
Shut up. I drove a motorcycle for quite a long time.
Yeah, you forgot how to steer.
That's when I first started. Why do you got to bring that up? That's when I first started driving a motorcycle.
Riding.
Whoops.
Motorcycle.
To me, I was driving it. But anyway, almost got hit 3 times, didn't I? And I'd always make him ride. Or no, I started making him ride, or asking him. I didn't make him do nothing, but asking him to ride in front of me because I didn't want him to, if I made a mistake, I didn't want him to see it. Just being honest. So, but when he was riding behind me is when he got to see me almost get hit 3 times, and he's like, I can't take this. So then he rode in front of me, and I rode in the back for a long time. And then we just don't ride anymore. And he sold his motorcycle. I still got mine, but we're going to sell it one day probably. Maybe. Who knows? I'm going to cut this one in half. And I'm going to use it. Because I got another spot. So, then...
I put that other half in there.
Okay. See, you're going to hang of it. Oh. Okay. Now we're going to take our brine. Let's go ahead and fill up some more jars. Then we'll put our brine in. Because once we start putting our brine in, then we need to get them in the thing. You got any stories to tell, Paul?
No.
Yeah, you do. Come on. You got any good stories?
We really need to get that wall finished.
That's not a story. They know that our corrugated metal is not finished. It's not up all the way because we didn't have our countertop. Now we have our countertop, but we haven't had time. We haven't had time to do anything else because we're always busy. It'll be all right. I'm not worried about that little piece of metal that goes across there. I might be in a month if it's not, but I'm not right now. So I'm going to put these, put this in here. So don't forget. Story?
I ain't got none.
Yeah, you do. Now, if you guys didn't want these hot peppers, you don't have to put them in there. You can just do dill. Or, I'm hot.
It's warm.
Or you can, you know, there's different kinds of pickles. You can do bread and butter pickles. You can do, there's different kinds of pickles. What am I missing? Oh, dill. Yes, dill. I'm just going to use all that. Well, this is all I got left, isn't it? Huh. I think that'd be enough, don't you?
Sure.
Ooh, that is strong.
I reckon that'll be enough.
What? Wait a minute, don't use it all in case we got to get another jar. Is that all the jars I have? Oh. I don't know if we can get all these in here whole. Now this is our brine that will take your breath away. Let me grab my this.
Well, I probably need to get away from it then. Ouch.
Well, you don't have to. It's not that bad. So you're going to put the brine. You're going to leave an inch head space, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I better check. I don't want to tell you all wrong. 1/2 inch head space. So we can fill them up pretty full. Probably why I ran out of brine with, no, because I was doing relish. That's an inch, so we can go a little bit further. Okay, there's that one. And I hate trying to debubble these. I really don't like doing it. Just gonna tell you. Get that out of my way. Pint or quart jar. Pint or quart, it's 15 minutes in the water bath. Okay?
That's too full.
I'll get it in a minute. Let me. I may have to add to. I can't even move these. Oh, did you see them bubbles come up? Now we're going to clean our rims with vinegar. Tim done left me. He said, I'm out. I ain't doing this no more.
Not my thing.
Not your thing?
Not my thing.
You like to eat them, though.
Yep. I'll eat them. You make them, I'll eat them.
All right. I reckon we can do that. Thanks for trying anyways. You put a good effort. Put in a good effort.
Got in trouble an awful lot.
Oh, come on. Well, you got to listen to direction. Okay, after you do that, we pick like this all the time. So please don't think that this is just us. This is how we roll, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm gonna tell you. I've been using these, and I'm so impressed with these 4 jars lids. I've not had one yet not seal, and I've been using a lot of them here lately. So, you guys, I'm gonna put a little bit of vinegar in my water. Okay. Now I'm gonna get these rings out of here and put on here. The lids that came with my jars. I just bought some cheap jars. When I am not going to pressure can anything, I just buy the cheapest jars I can find at Walmart, wherever. And these were $9 for 12 of them, wasn't it? Quart jars. That's pretty cheap nowadays. And so they're gold, and they're going to go on these silver lids, but it don't matter because I always take the rings back off anyways. The rings, it just holds it on there while you're canning it. Okay. So I'm just going to put these, and I don't use the lids to on these cheap jars. I don't use these lids. I don't do it. I won't do it. I would if that's all I had, but and just go finger tight with these. Don't crank down on it. I use these for other things though. They come in handy for like stuff like that, my dried stuff. All right, so I put my vinegar in my water, so all this yucky white on the outside, chalky looking stuff, that will come off. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to take some of this water out, putting these heavy pickles in there. So we're gonna bring this to a boil, and now I'll put the lid on it and bring it to a boil, and then it's gonna boil for 15 minutes. We're gonna take it off and then set them out on a thing, and I'll bring you back when we do that, when we get that far. All right, guys, we got them all done, and it didn't take that long. It's 9:15, and we started at what, 7:30 maybe?
Maybe.
It didn't take that long. Not compared to some foods, right?
I don't know. Never done it before.
But you watch me. I mean,
Never kept track of time.
right. I'm pretty exhausted now. Anyway, got anything to say? Got any stories?
No stories.
You're going to have to think of some stories.
No storyteller.
Well, I like to hear stories. I guess that's where the kids and the grandkids get. The grandkids come over and they're like, Nana, tell us stories of our dad when they were little, our dads when they were little. And they just love to hear stories about them. I like to hear stories too. So you need to think of some stories and share them. I got all kinds of stories.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, I'm 56 years old. I got a lot of stories to tell. I got a lot to tell.
Stories or life events?
To me, stories are life events. My life events. I'm not going to say, let me tell you a life event. I'm going to say, let me tell you a story. This is a story. It's not fake. It's not fiction when I tell you a story. It might be sometimes about you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But, so next time we get on here, what? Next time we get on here, I want to hear a story. So you better be thinking about one.
Story.
I've sat around with you and your mom and dad and heard you guys tell stories before. I love to listen to stories, especially when they're old time, back in the day. I can tell some stories about that. Not way back, but for me, it's back in the day. But, my grandma and grandpa's house and what we had to do. I know you can too. No running water, have to use an outhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
12 mom got her water.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So yeah, I know you got stories.
You seen the house too.
I was in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You could see daylight out it.
It sure got you good.
Yeah.
That's all right though. What else you got?
What else you got?
Boy, she used to put out a big old garden. She was in her 80s and still doing that. Hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to be in my 80s putting out a big old garden. I can just only pray God's will be done with me because I don't know if I can do it on my own.
You know, none of us know.
No. Well, my mom's 82 and she's like, there's no way I could put out a big old garden like y'all. And I don't think I would be able to at 82.
Ain't that big a garden, really.
Well, to her it is. I think I got her talked into getting to put a few tomatoes in her flower bed. But
we got to work in that garden tomorrow.
We do got to work in the garden tomorrow. Well, I guess we'll get off here then. I know you're itching to get out of here.
Need to get in the shower.
I know. All right. Well, Lord willing, we'll see you guys on the next video.
Y'all have a blessed night.
That's right. Love you guys. If you like our content, please hit the share, like, subscribe button. It helps us stay in the algorithm. It helps us keep this channel going. Supports us.
Thumbs up.
It helps support our channel, and it doesn't cost you all anything, which is the great part. It costs you nothing. So if you wouldn't mind helping us out with that. And if you got any questions or comments, just leave it underneath the comment section. And I guess that's it. All right. Love you guys.
Bye.
We'll see you later, Lord willing.